Hey guys, it's Liz Wilgeroth with Homes by Liz and One Sotheby's International Realty. Today I'm on location at Dogtopia here in Viera, which is right next to the new Winn-Dixie on Murrell. So I have Amy here, who is the owner of Dogtopia, and she's here just to share a little bit about Dogtopia and what it all entails. So, Amy, can you start with why did you start Dogtopia?
Yes, well, I had come from a background of teaching, and I decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different. I have had a lifelong love of animals, and so one conversation with my mom, she said, you should open a dog daycare. So I started looking into it, and I found Dogtopia.
And you were a teacher before?
Correct.
So it's kind of an easy
transition. Dogs and kids are very similar in the way that you can love on them and they respond.
Exactly. So what types of services does Dogtopia provide?
So we are mostly dog daycare. We do offer boarding, but our boarding dogs are going to do exactly the same thing as our daycare dogs. So they're going to play all day in an open environment. We have spa services, so we can get them nice and clean. I have a groomer that comes in 3 times a week, so if they need a haircut, they can have that as well.
Nice. Okay, so if I were to bring my dog in, let's say my dog Max, who is an older dog, he's 13, he's about 70 pounds, how would that intake process go?
So the first thing we do is we check to make sure that the dog, if over the age of 7 months, is spayed or neutered. We check to make sure they have required vaccines. When they come in, we're going to have a conversation with the pet parent to learn a little bit about the dog's background, the dog's history, anything that we might need to know. And then when they come in with us, we are going to first check to make sure they're comfortable with us touching it. We're going to love all over them, pet them. We use this for not only affection, but for wellness checks. We make sure the dogs are comfortable going into a crate. We crate daily from 12 to 2 for lunch and nap time. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable going in the crate. If they're not crate trained, that's okay. We just need to make sure that they're not going to injure themselves. And then in our smaller evaluation room, we will introduce them to one dog at a time. We'll start with a dog of the same gender, then the opposite gender, and then one that's a little bit higher energy. This whole time we're giving the dog time to acclimate and give us signals of how comfortable they are and how they're feeling. If they are comfortable with those 3 dogs, then we will escort them into our playroom.
Nice. And you said you have 3 different sized rooms.
We do.
Can you kind of explain that to us?
Sure. We have Toy Box, which is for our dogs that are about 25 pounds and under. And then I have 2 larger rooms called Gym and Romper. And our Romper room is exactly that. Those are for the dogs that are just play, that are a little bit bigger. And then Gym is for dogs that, although they love to play, they also might like to have a little bit of rest time as well.
Nice. Now, Dogtopia does a foundation.
Correct.
Right? Okay, can you explain that to us?
Yes. So Dogtopia Foundation has 3 different initiatives. One of the first initiatives they do is they supply service dogs for veterans. So a lot of these veterans are not able to get benefits through VA because their disabilities are invisible, more like PTSD type things. And so Dogtopia Foundation sponsors service dogs for these veterans in need. We also have youth literacy programs. So the youth literacy programs will go into underdeveloped socioeconomic areas. They'll bring in some dogs. They'll bring in books to children that may or may not have had books before. And they find that they raise their literacy scores incredibly over their peers that don't have these kinds of programs. And thirdly, they have employment initiatives for adults with autism. So Dogtopia has found that it's a great fit for some of these adults that may not fit well elsewhere.
Perfect. All right, so last question I always ask people. What makes Dogtopia different than other daycare, doggy daycares in the area?
Awesome. So Dogtopia has lots of differences. Dogtopia is a franchise that's been around for about 20 years. And so when our canine coaches are in the rooms, they have gone through extensive training before they go into the rooms. Our training, we have the benefit of being designed by a canine behaviorist. So they're teaching those canine coaches what is okay open play behavior, what is redirect behavior. We have compressed rubberized flooring in all of our rooms, which is great for their paws and joints. But it's also great for keeping everything sanitary and clean. Unlike tile and grout, nothing's going to soak into those. It's going to be able to be nicely sanitized.
Nice.
We have webcam access.
Nice.
So while you are away and can't see your dog, whether it be for the day or for a boarding trip, as long as you have access to some Wi-Fi or internet, you can check in on your dogs.
And what about the air filtration system?
So we are all indoor, and unlike a lot of other indoor facilities, we have 100% fresh air. So all of our UV filter, 4 filters, all of the air in here is very, very clean, as well as our rooms being completely separated. They're not actually using fences of any kind. They're completely separate rooms. So if I should have a dog who gets a cold in one room, it's definitely not going to spread to any of the other rooms.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. I love cleanliness. So
yes.
Perfect.
Makes me happy.
Yes, exactly. All right, so if you are interested in bringing your dog to Dogtopia, I will link all the information below so you can give them a call or just drop on by and talk to them in person.
All right.
So Amy, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for opening your place for us.
Absolutely.
And bring your dogs over to Dogtopia.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.